exploring our
Smells
oneness
terrible
with
in
spirit
here.
and each other. Unity Online
The smell
Radio.
of dog bed and powder. What's it called? Carpet fresh.
Thank you for tuning in for this Unity Partner
Come on,
Program.
he's dancing. Look at him. He's
Unity
doing he's
Online
doing the
Radio
soul
partners
dance.
with
Look,
spiritual
the
leaders,
hands up.
organizations
Oh, yeah.
whose mission and messages
Our YouTubers
complement Unity's.
would
We are
love to see
pleased to
that.
bring you this program on Unity Online Radio.
How much longer do I have to keep these
Awakening
books
the
against
world.
my
See
face?
if I can get a shot at it off. No.
Okay, this is
Can't
how
even take photo.
we take photos, ladies and gentlemen. All right, you going?
Yeah.
You
It's
gonna take
already,
it?
I already started recording. Oh, I don't have enough
There's
action
nothing
my
on there?
phone. For some reason, it's all full.
No, take it now. You just deleted a bunch.
Try again.
Welcome
Just
to
do a
Funny
quickie.
Things with Daryl and Ed, the best looking guys on the radio. We all know the funniest things happen when we stop
do, but
taking
there's no
ourselves
room.
too
Take
seriously.
that one out.
Out boldly, like Mr. Magoo blindly stepping onto the next
And then
swing
just do a quick hold there.
with an outrageous
Go ahead,
jackpot.
it'll work now.
Your hosts, Daryl and Ed, are about to administer a refreshing dose of laughter and love that will inspire you to step out boldly and experience the funniest things. Now, here are your hosts, Daryl and Ed.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to Funniest Thing,
Yeah.
where each week we share stories about how stepping out boldly always leads to better than expected outcomes.
Yes, it does.
I'm Daryl,
And I'm Ed.
and we're broadcasting live from Middle School Studios in downtown Culver City, the heart of Screenland.
Are we ever?
And we have good news for our
Yes,
fans and listeners,
that's right.
because we became spiritual pharmacists.
That's so true. That's so true. At least for this week, we at least said we had some white coats nearby, so that qualifies.
Yes, and this episode is Love is the Prescription.
It sure is. Where health is concerned, when we focus on love, God takes care of the concern. And during the second segment, Funniest Thing regular, Jen Henry swoops in from Chicago to read and discuss today's daily word, which is healing.
We have a whopper of a show chock full of good news from fans and
Oh my
from
gosh, mail galore.
and readings from Emmett Fox and Ernest Holmes
jokes up the wazooski. No, I meant mail up the wazooski.
and great funniest thing stories that correspond perfectly with our topic.
You're not kidding.
Are you gonna? Should we jump right into
Well-
what?
Yes, we should, because this show does also, even though the daily word is healing, it doesn't just mean physical health.
No.
And when we said where health is concerned, when we focus on love, God takes care of the concern. That goes for everything from your physical health, your financial health, your relationships, or also just in that moment how you're feeling. If you're maybe you need to get somewhere and you're
Yes.
concerned that if
Yes.
it's going to happen, or you have a deadline at work, that's another concern. The prescription is always the same, and that is love.
Yeah, and we could also. I was thinking about that because a lot of the readings and a lot of the stories that we're going to read later from our fans, it's almost like trust is also the prescription that goes along with love, because
Well,
it's
yes.
about trusting love and not trusting
Yes. Trusting life.
danger. Yeah, it's trusting life as being on our side. And you
That's
really,
right. Well, because that once we do start trusting that life is flowing in a positive direction, it's natural for us to be loving to the people
Yes.
around us. But sometimes it does take that little leap of faith, like you said, to trust enough to put down our weapons, or put down our worries, or put down our rushing, or put down whatever it is that I'm picking up, and actually just calm down and trust.
well, that's why I
and be
like
loving.
that not Emmett Fox, but Eric Butterworth says, and all these readings we're going to read today hinge on this, which I like, which is don't treat the condition,
Yes.
treat the concern. Like if I need to get somewhere, I think I got to get somewhere in a hurry.
Yes.
It's not treating the condition,
right.
it's treating my
Precisely.
concern. And once I treat the concern, everything falls into harmony.
That's right, because we really can't control conditions, but we can control where we put our focus, the type of thoughts we choose to focus on. Even if there's a million thoughts going through our head, that we cannot control all those that they're coming up, but we can make a choice and choose where we're going to put our focus. And then from there, the conditions have to improve. That is the universal law that we can rely upon.
Yeah, and the easiest way to treat the concern is to focus on love. And that's why we said love is the
Yes.
prescription.
Yes, love is the prescription. So let's take a breath, clear our minds. No matter the affliction, love is the affliction. No.
Did you say no matter the addiction, love is the affliction? Well, that's because we got to let our fans know.
Yeah.
I got a little overzealous before today's episode,
Yes.
and I overdid it with the carpet fresh at Middle School Studios.
Yes.
So when we take our big inhale,
Yeah.
it's like getting a snout full of talcum powder.
Not to mention, it's hotter than Rooster Cogburn's undershorts in here.
It sure is.
Oh my gosh, why is it so hot? You have an air conditioner, you told me.
Well, we both just drank 2 long pull shots of espresso right before the show.
God, man, it is warm in here. All right, let's try that again.
Okay, here we go.
Let's take a breath one more time. Here we go. No matter the affliction, love is the prescription.
No matter the affliction, love is love is the prescription.
No matter the affliction, love is the
Love is the prescription.
Let's get one of these. Oh my goodness. So,
I think we should kick into the readings and we'll tell our little
you want to
stories.
show your little one-liner that you posted on the funniest thing earlier?
Well, you know what the one-liner I really liked?
Oh, I thought that was the one.
Well, this one's good too. This is just something positive. It kind of goes along with a lot you hear from Abraham and all these spiritual teachers. Actually, the last sentence I heard from Reverend David McClure years ago.
Oh, nice.
And it says, keep the wonderful images of doing what you'd love to be doing playing in your mind. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. And if you're interested, there's a really great Abraham Hicks post today. If you go to their website, what's the website?
The website is like abraham-hicks.com, I believe.
Yeah, if you go there today, it's a little bit more elaborate version that really hits it home. But the one I really liked was the one which is when you expect good things for yourself
Yes.
or in your life or in a situation that you have concern over.
Yes.
When we choose to expect a good outcome, a positive outcome, we're in agreement with God. When we're
Yes.
not expecting a good outcome,
Yes.
we feel alone, and I feel afraid, and I get more, all my character defects start to, I get either
Yes.
impatient or I get more worried
Right.
or I'm impatient.
Yes.
Depending whatever the situation is, the fear will come out in
Oh
a
my
way
God,
that
yes.
just aggravates the situation and creates even more concern.
Yes.
And feeling uncomfortable when we think these concerned and overly concerned and worried thoughts or impatient thoughts, they don't feel good because we're not in agreement with God. And when we're in agreement with God, then we are like walking on those flat escalators at the
Right.
airport. We're now like walking, being propelled with God on our side.
Right.
And the situation, like you'd mentioned at the beginning of the show, has to begin to correspond. It's the spiritual law.
True. Now we're talking about a very loving God, because you mentioned even earlier that in those Edinburgh lectures you were reading that it depends on
Yes.
what God you really worship, or what, I do believe the true nature of the universe, of God, of life is love. So the more in alignment I am with that always goes smoothly. There's no fighting, there's no fussing. you know. But at the same time, if you're like other people, you know, I could, basically when I'm stressed out, I'm aligning with the belief that
Yes.
God is a stressful, you know, like there might not be enough for me. And I'm still always cleaning out the drawers of my head where I find these
too.
beliefs tucked in. And it's so funny because I'll find that, like, I'll start treating my like, say my family, like today was about who was going to drive my son to school. And, you know, I started to have this, my wife was going to drive him, and then but she asked me if I wanted to, and I already made a plan for this morning. So I said no. I already had a plan. But this morning, like the way my mind was saying, should I not? It was taking the whole thing as if it was like this war, this incredible, you know. Instead of, no, this is a loving universe, you know. Like we all have, thank God, we had the freedom that my wife could drive him or I could drive him. We're both totally supported by a loving unit. It took, you know what I'm saying, when I'm. It was so much. I was tempted to make the decision out of like it was this big deal, and am I going to be a good person? But once I really realized, oh no, because being of service is also trusting in a loving universe. Like to truly be of service, I first have to get myself into the flow of a loving universe.
Yes, because I mean, Emmett Fox talks about that too, that our life is always a reflection of the type of God we believe in.
Yes.
In a generally,
Yes.
meaning generally our life will shape our belief of the type of God we're putting our faith in.
Yes.
And if it's a loving God, then we'll notice that in a general tone,
Right.
we meet pretty regularly, more often than not,
Yes.
friendly, helpful people,
Yes.
situations that take a turn for the better,
Yes.
coincidences that seem like funniest things that,
Right.
that support our desires.
Right.
But when I'm thinking I'm on my own and I'm not really throwing my trust throughout my day,
Yeah.
that in a loving, you know, that
Right.
thinking of God often throughout my day,
Yeah.
then things start to seem chaotic.
Yeah, because our subconscious mind is like a little kid, and we're training it what world it lives in. It
Yeah.
doesn't know what kind of world it lives in until we train it with our
Yes.
thinking. So if we tell it it's a scary world, so that little kid's going out, it's either hiding from everyone or it's looking for a fight because it's like, no one's going to push me around.
Yes.
But that's what it just goes out and does. And a lot of times our subconscious mind was trained before we were consciously, you know, aware of what was being trained in. So a lot of this is like retraining our mind. That's why like treatment and prayer is so
Yes.
important, because in those moments it's like we're setting a new tone for our day or a situation.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to start the day like we suggest.
Yes.
And if you're home and now that thought bumped into your head, yeah, but what about all the terrible things that are going on in the world in the news? Well, that's good that you noticed that, because the reason it's in the news is because it's not the norm. It's the exception. That's why it's in the news.
You could also say, well, I guess that person didn't do their morning routine that day.
Yeah, that too. That too. And if you start going, yeah, but I gotta read the news or I won't know what's going on. Don't worry. If it's something important that you need to know, you will be made aware of it.
And yeah, believe me, if it's bad news you want to stay in the loop with, there'll be plenty of other people talking about it.
Yes. So speaking of that, this goes right into Emmett Fox, and it's from Around the Year with Emmett Fox. I believe this is October 14.
Yes.
I'm sorry, October 16.
I see.
And it's called A Treatment is an Operation.
Woo!
Whee!
All right.
The word treatment is usually applied to a prayer that is made for some specific purpose,
Yes.
as distinct from a general prayer, which is really a visit with God. You must remember that a treatment is a definite practical action, having a definite object and a definite beginning and end. It is, in fact, a surgical operation on the soul.
Ooh.
Let us suppose that you decide to heal a certain difficulty by prayer. You know that your difficulty must be caused by some negative thought charged with fear and located in the subconscious mind.
Yes.
You therefore turn to God and remind yourself of His goodness, His limitless power, and His care for you. As you work, the fear will begin to dissolve, and the awareness of truth corrects the erroneous beliefs themselves. Thank God for the healing that you believe will come, and then you keep your thought off the matter until you feel led, after an interval, to treat again. He sent his word and healed them. And that's from Psalm 107, verse 20. And this is a great one. This is a great one that reinforces the idea of a God box.
Yeah.
And if you're listening for the first time, a God box is any container. The best God box is the one you use. It doesn't have to be
Yes.
fancy. A friend of mine used a laundry hamper and it worked just fine in an emergency. Once I used my glove box in the car.
Yeah.
I wrote something down and threw it in there. Another God box.
Well,
is-
tell them what it is, because there's a million and one
Okay.
ways places you can stuff stuff. What are
Yeah,
they
a God
stuffing?
box is you take something that's concerning you, that you're having a hard time.
Yes. Your
You're
back pocket. That's what Jeff Comfort is motioning. You
Yeah.
can also just put it in your back pocket.
It's you have something that concerns that you can't shake loose, or you're not really getting the idea that I've turned it over. You don't feel like you've actually cast the burden. A physical way to do that is write it down in a
Yes.
positive way.
Yes.
I'd like to go, thank you for caring for this or working this out in the best possible way for everyone concerned.
Right.
You fold it up, boom. You put it in your God box, right? Which could be
Yes.
even an oatmeal container.
Yes.
And then when you think about it, or if I catch myself worrying or concerned, I go, oh, I put that in my God box.
Yeah.
And if you have a friend that does it and he brings it up, you can just be friendly and say, hey, didn't you put that in God box? And your friend, if he's on board with this, go, you're right, I did. And now you have two people,
Yes.
bringing this to be.
Because in the Emmett Fox reading, he said that basically something in your subconscious mind is holding on to some fear that might be creating a situation that's not to your liking. And sometimes we don't know what it is. And one of the things that we can pray for, too, is just clarity. Like, just show me what it is. Like, if I don't know what I need to let go of, just show me what it is. I make it easy, or just dissolve it, or
Yes.
whatever. But praying for clarity could help, because sometimes all of a sudden something will come up and I'll go, oh my God, I forgot that I made that decision at some point in my life, that life was hard, or I'll forget about this whole chunk of my life where I was living out of fear, and then I'll just let it go in that moment.
Well, this is a good point, because because the tendency to go, oh no, I got to figure out what's in there. You do not. If you
Yeah.
don't, you could ask that prayer, fine, but don't get hung up on I must find out what it is.
No.
Just let yourself know love is healing it. And if you do need to find out, it will pop up, and it will pop up in a way that you can easily let it go.
Yes.
But this isn't a reason to go digging for stuff that's not there. If you're feeling it, you're not
yeah,
sure
well, that's
what it is.
because that's the tendency. If I don't know what it is, and I'm still on that thread of fear, I might try to go digging through my subconscious, or try to work my process, as some people call it, so hard, and just get more tangled up in the issue. The goal is, like Ernest Holmes says, in treating, we must turn entirely away from the condition. Disease and limitation are neither person, place, or thing. Turn entirely from the condition or limited situation to its opposite, to the realization of health, happiness, and harmony. Spiritual treatment starts with perfect God, perfect man, and perfect being, which statement consciously removes any belief which denies such manifestation. That's from
Perfect
Science of
timing.
Mind.
That's exactly what we were getting at.
Yeah.
I think I got time to whip out this quick,
You're going to tell that story?
don't you think?
No. We'll tell that at the beginning of the next segment.
Well, then I guess should we wind up now?
Well, let's tell this last little paragraph from Raymond Charles Barker. It's very uplifting.
All right, why don't you bark that one out then?
Go to
Ed?
DarylandEd.com. Go to the script pages to find all these readings and more from each episode, or go to the reading list and you'll find the whole book where you can order it online somewhere. Raymond Charles Barker says this: you need to know God as health and health as normal. You have to decide that you are going to be well. Once you make that decision and really mean it, really you make the decision that you already are well, the spiritual forces in your mind and body go to work. Health is a yes system and disease is a no system. Life responds to affirmative thinking. It flows where the channels are open, and affirmative thinking opens the channels. Life created you out of itself that you might enjoy the experience of living in health and well-being.
And we got a quick God Box post from someone listening
she
right
say?
now. Kathy Quinn, who's been on the show and a fan of the show, she's away this weekend.
Okay.
And her father is in a, one of those homes.
Yeah, assisted living kind of thing?
Assisted living, yep. And look at her little God box she threw in this. Thank you, God, for taking such good care of all Dad's needs while I'm on vacation.
Oh.
And that's how you let go of these concerns,
Right.
everyone. That's how you do it. And you could even send your friend who's on board with you with this stuff
Yeah.
a text like this.
It's good stuff.
Because now me and Ed and everyone listening is throwing that prayer out there. So, Kathy, your father is in great hands.
That is so true. And you have a great story during the next segment about how you turned over a very everyday situation which could have turned very stressful and turned it over, and you got better than expected outcomes. So coming up next, Funniest Thing fan. On top of that story, we'll have Funniest Thing regular Jen Henry swooping in from Chicago, home of the Cubs, to read and discuss today's daily word, healing. Thank you for listening to Funniest Thing on Unity Online Radio. This one is
You know
called
what's
the
amazing?
past.
You know what we get to bring up with her?
What?
Today is the day in the future where we notice the Cubs. What?
What are we looking at? We're still on the air? Is that
No,
what
he
we're-
meant recording. The Cubs.
Yeah.
Today is the day that he sees the Cubs are in the world in
Yes.
the playoffs.
We'll talk about that.
And she's a Cubber. Mm-hmm. She's a Cubby.
Want to read a little Emmett
Right now?
Seeking the Kingdom? Or
Turn it on. She's calling. Oh, no. You don't need to touch anything.
if I do, I sometimes I have to approve something.
You mean for our YouTube fans?
Yeah.
Read this? Oh, yeah. Might as well.
Is it short? Or you want to read at the top? Why don't you read at the top, go right into your story. Hello!
She made it. Put on your
Hello?
Yeah, put on your... We see you. Put on your... Oh, she can't. She doesn't have a video.
You don't have to take your
See me?
clothes
No,
off.
because I don't think you have
have a
video,
good
according
time.
to Jeff.
Are you using an Apple iPad?
Hello?
Are you using iPad?
iPhone.
Wow, fancy dancer.
Why not? What? Are you on the road?
She's gone now.
See,
And just like that, she was gone. Wait, she's coming back.
Jeff. Don't,
Hello?
Hey, are you there?
There she is.
Okay, yeah. There.
The iPhone is a little
Delightful
iffy.
today. It's
yeah.
going to be perfect. Thank you.
Okay, but you can't see me. Sorry.
Where are you?
I'm in my car.
She's on the
Nobody walks
road.
in Chicago.
And then I'm on the way to a small group. So
All right.
the church we go to has a small group. So that starts at 6.
Fun.
Oh,
We'll
God.
give them all regards. You'll be on fire after this.
Yes, you will.
Hopefully.
Woo!
All
Are
right.
you
Here
excited?
we go.
Okay,
Here we
we're
go.
coming back. You ready, Ed?
Yes.
Stand by, Jen.
Yeah.
We're back.
Funniest
Oh, no, we're not.
No, we're not.
you have a question or comment.
Don't breathe.
Or if you'd like to join in the
The
discussion,
ba-
friends
But can you
and
taste the
at
carpet
Funniest
fresh?
Thing, Daryl and Ed.
Delicious.
Or email us at funniestthing@unityonlineradio.org. Now, back to Funniest Thing.
All right. Welcome back to Middle School Studios, home of Funniest Thing and Carpet Fresh Cleaner. Stick in the air, in case you're not aware.
And they're not even one of our sponsors.
Not yet, but we do have a great reading from Emmett Fox and a quick story from
Oh.
Daryl before we move on with this segment.
You want me to read this one? Yeah, why not?
Okay, so we have a reading called "What is Seeking the Kingdom?" It's another one from Emmett Fox, right?
Oh yeah, this is put your trust in the right direction. It says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added." That's from Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. The principle that Jesus expressed in
Yes.
these words is the basic law that underlies all answer to prayer.
Yes.
Many people know that in theory, but are confused about putting it into practice. They think, I will ignore this problem and think about God instead. Herein is a subtle mistake, because they are really thinking of their problem as existing in one place, of God as existing in another,
Yes.
and of themselves as going in thought from the first place to the second place. This, of course, is by implication to reaffirm the existence of the problem in its own place. Such a belief will not heal. What we have to do is to seek the kingdom in the very place where the trouble seems to be. We have to know that in truth and reality, it is not there, because God is there. When we succeed in doing this, the difficulty disappears. And that's from around the year with Emmett Fox, October 17th.
Now, this is very helpful because a big
Yes.
part of our show is applying spiritual principles in real life situations to transform our own vision and our own experience in those situations. And you did just that at Bed Bath & Beyond just, yesterday?
Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yes. Now we have Guru Bed Bath & Beyond to share his story.
Yes, what happened was I just happened to be near Bed Bath & Beyond after another appointment I had.
Yes.
And we needed a new quilt for our bed.
Yes.
So I go, I might as well go in there now. I had a hunch.
Yes.
I go in, and they had the quilts we enjoy.
Right.
They're about $150 for the king size.
I see.
And it popped into my head, darn, I wish I had that 20% coupon they send you
Right.
all the time.
Right.
But I didn't have them in my trunk. And then I just immediately thought, you know what? Money's not my problem. I'm going to get this anyway and enjoy it. You know
Yeah,
what I
treat
mean?
yourself.
Yeah,
Why
the
not?
joyous feeling. And
Yes.
it didn't even raise a second thought. I get to the line.
Yeah, so already you replaced a lack thought with
Yeah.
abundance, prosperity, but it just felt like, I'm just going to let it flow.
Yeah, and I was thinking, you know, I love everyone here. I always enjoy,
Yeah.
you know, I'm really enjoying this comforter. I'm not going
Right.
to be unsatisfied.
Right, it's a comforter for
Yeah,
crying
and
out
it's
loud.
worth it. So I get up to the register,
Yes.
and there's a bit of a line, and sometimes the lines at Bed Bath & Beyond take some positive turning over.
Right.
They take some blessing.
You have to seek the kingdom.
Yes, while you're in the line, because people are pulling out thousands of these coupons.
Yeah, I see what you're
And
saying.
the late ticker has to go, no, sorry, this one expired in
Yes, I get
2009.
you. Okay.
Really? Are you sure?
Uh-huh.
So, you know, I'm just sitting there. And as I'm there in line, you know, patiently waiting, the lady in the next register comes to work.
Yeah.
And she says, okay, I'll take the next in line. Well, I was the next in line.
Right.
So I'm like, woo.
Uh-huh.
And I start to back up my cart to go over. And the lady behind me goes racing over and gets in that line.
Snaked you.
Snaked me. And I started to feel it get my ire.
Yes.
Like what the, this is crap.
Yeah,
You know?
of course.
But then the manager looked at me and went, you know, gave me like a knowingly look.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I was next, but you know what? She kind of got over there before me.
Yeah.
And the manager actually shared lovingly to the worker, you know, next time you bring people over, go over and like bring them over
Yeah.
because you'll get other people coming ahead. And it was no big deal. It was fine. So now I'm in my line still.
Yes.
And now a man who's about between my and your age,
Yes.
very pleasant smile on his face, dressed in his dress clothes for work. And I'm just bringing up conversation. Yeah, you know, this is the worst of it. You know, shopping here. Once we get through this, we're home free, you know,
Yes.
so we could have some joyous talk while we're there. And he goes, oh, yeah, the lines. He goes, sometimes they're quick, sometimes they're slow. And I said, yeah, I just missed getting over there. That lady got ahead of me, but I'm here with you. And he goes, hey, would you like a coupon? And I said, are you serious? He goes, yes. I was in the same line once before, and someone gave me a coupon. I said, wow, thank you. He hands me a 20% coupon. I get up to the register. I pay. The lady goes, that's $30 off. I look at him. I go, can you believe this? He said, well, now you know why that lady cut you off. And I said, yes. And then the lady behind the register, this cute black lady, she starts going, oh my God, are you related to Frank Sinatra? And she was like 30 years old. She's
Yeah.
going, you have the same bright, happy smile that Frank Sinatra had in all his pictures. And I'm like, how much better can this get?
That's amazing.
I leave them and I'm on my way out and the manager stops me.
Yeah.
And she says, I just want to say thank you for being a gentleman. You know, when
Yeah.
that whole thing took place. I said, no. I said, you're not going to believe it.
Yeah.
It worked out even better.
Right.
She goes, what happened? I said, a guy came behind me and she like read mine and she
Yeah.
gave you a coupon. I said, yes. And I saved $30.
Dude.
So it was like an incredible example of through each moment.
Yes.
And this is the thing, when this becomes a general tone, like your general belief that God is loving,
Yes.
I was hoping I had a 20% coupon, and everybody, when you think like this, becomes on your team.
That's right.
That people who you think are strangers, God delivered me the 20% coupon in the
Yes.
most wonderful way.
Yeah.
And thank God I didn't do the old, I'm not going to be a doormat. I was next. Excuse me, madam.
Right.
Because when we push and shove, even under that
Yeah.
thought, it never leads to our greater good.
Well, that's why we didn't call the show Bitterness is the Prescription, isn't it? But I know we all get tempted to do that. But speaking of our team, why don't we thank our listeners?
Yes.
Because oh, God, we have so much good mail coming up in the third segment from listeners, people visiting from
Louisville, Kentucky.
We are just so excited, and we're so excited in a few moments we'll be joined by another listener / friend /
I know.
amazing person to read the Daily Word. So thank you for listening and tuning in and checking out everything on our Facebook page and the DarylandEd.com Everything is there too. The Twitter. You can reach anything we do if you go to DarylNed.com. It's there and it's all free.
Yeah, and even a discount on the Daily Word, which we always
Yeah.
read from. You can get it there at lower than their cost, and that's thanks to Daily Word.
Yes.
Because they set that up because they appreciate how much we promote it and read it and love it and use it.
That's right. That's right. You can also mail us anything to us at Funniest Thing, P.O. Box 1312, Culver City, California, 90232. So far, we've only received a Thai restaurant menu and a Chinese food restaurant menu in
Yes,
that
we
box.
did.
So we're looking forward to all the wonderful things that are coming to fill up the P.O. Box soon. So every day we put our little face through the little window just because we love it so much.
Yep.
And let's see here. We also like to thank the chief engineer, the man who makes us feel right at home in the comfort zone, Mr. Jeff Comfort, because each week he takes us right into the comfort zone. Yeah. Nice. Well played, sir. He has to put up with us. We're the last show of the day after a long day of spiritual programming.
We sat through how many hours? 128 hours of Funniest Thing.
Dear gravy. Okay. Shout out to the prayer line, 800-NOW-PRAY, 800-669-7729. It's been around for 125 years. It's a great place to call when you want a prescription, an extra booster shot of love. We also have the You Pray app, the letter U, P-R-A-Y, You Pray. You can type in your prayers. You can even push a button and call straight to the prayer line from there.
That's like a God box, only with a team.
I use that quite a bit. It's because I love that feedback. They'll give you an email, an affirmative prayer email or letter if you request it, and that's it. That's it. That's all they ask, and it's so
There's no
amazingly
obligation.
effective.
That's what you mean. There's no obligation.
Thank you.
Which is wonderful. And I just sent one, let's say a little prayer for Mrs. Ryan, Jim Ryan's mom.
Yes.
The doctors aren't sure what's going on. She's been diagnosed with cancer.
Yes.
And he had a lot of concern about that yesterday. And I sent a prayer to the silent unity. And I sent them what they sent me, the
wholeness and health.
Yes, to Jim and all his family.
Yes. Okay, now we get to bring in, what did you call our guest? A cubby?
I guess she's a cubby because today is the day.
Yes.
What's today's date? October 21st, 2015.
Yeah.
Right now, we just came back to the future and we see in the paper the Cubs are in the playoffs.
That's right. Jen Henry, are you there?
Yes. Hello, guys.
Are you excited?
Yes, but I have to make a confession. I'm really not into sports.
Fair enough.
Well, neither are we, but we know we're into Back to the Future.
Yeah, Daryl filled me in on the whole Back to the Future connection.
It's pretty cool, and it's great for the entire city to be excited about.
I imagine they must be on fire over there with excitement.
Yeah, it was kind of cool when they won a couple weeks ago or last week to watch everybody in the bars and restaurants getting all excited and they were packed. So that's fun.
Joy is joy, right? I said joy is joy.
Even if it's aimed at sports.
That's right. We love joy no matter who. We love it when people are getting excited no matter what they're getting excited
Be anything.
Over. That's right.
Exactly. It doesn't even matter. Everybody's being nice to each other.
Yes.
People once referred to Daryl and Ed as, some people say we're like the car guys because, the car guys get enthusiastic about cars on the radio. We get enthusiastic about these principles and about our fans. And
we were even accused by Sister Aloha, Sister Lucia.
Sister Lucia.
Who's a Samoan
The laughing nun.
We call her the laughing nun. She's just a joyous Samoan.
She's amazing.
Love muffin at the Pauline Books. She's actually accused us of having a ministry because we said, well, what's a ministry? Are you sure it's a ministry? It says, yeah, you lift people up. That's what a ministry is.
That's
you guys are both fathers. And we were like, all right.
That's at least the second nun that's dubbed us a ministry. She said I was a real father.
That's right.
You've been dubbed a father by the nun, so we're happy.
Can you believe it?
I love that. And it's true. You do have a ministry. And that took me a long time to realize things like that.
Yes.
The guy that smiles to everybody on the corner. That's a ministry.
Yes.
It certainly is.
Ministry is huge. Inspiring people and making them look at things in a different way that when the way I grew up and was raised, you know, it wasn't thinking like this. It was that the world's, you know, against you and going to keep you down. And it takes a lot of work to remember to think like this every day. And it's not easy.
You know what? It's amazing. The hardest part when I'm inundated by some old thinking that I figured out, you know, that was in my head, the hardest part is just to get me to sit back on my sofa or wherever for 2 minutes and read something positive and breathe. Like, the hardest part is to get over the fact that I'm thinking stuff that I thought I was done thinking, and just get myself to sit down and meditate, read one paragraph from one book, you know what I mean, set a simple intention to feel better. That, because, you know what I mean, that really is the whole thing. It's to get ourselves to turn it over and get back into the flow.
Yes. It's
sooner
just
than later.
Taking that simple action sooner or later. And I think one of the hooks is, it's almost like we feel like we're being disrespectful to those old beliefs. You know what I mean? Oh, I don't know if I should let this go.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not healthy.
And those old beliefs are so easy to fall into because they're not rooted in love. And I think that when it's not that love takes work, that's not what I'm saying, but it's so easy to not be kind to yourself, and it takes work to be loving and kind to yourself.
Dude,
and to the world.
You know, and that's the only work worth doing.
Yes, that's the only work worth doing, because that work puts everything else in harmony.
It's helpful to have a friend like Daryl who will call out your beliefs and just say they're crap right off the board. Like, he doesn't pull any punches. So if I'm saying something that's against myself, he'll go, "What are you talking about? That is crap." And then he'll hit me, boom, with the other side with all the positives that I could be looking at. So it is helpful to have friends in the spiritual neighborhood.
Yes, it is.
Who believe these same things. That's why we love having people like you on the show.
It's so important to surround yourself with people who speak the same truth as you, because if you have to listen to that. And you have to practice. That
is correct. Because, I mean, once we know how good it feels, nothing else compares, no matter how long we try to fool ourselves.
No.
It's only a matter of time before I sit back down, get myself back in harmony with myself, with the loving universe, and everything immediately turns for the so much better.
Oh, and I give up faster, too. Like, if I call somebody and I go, "Oh, this is going on," and they go, "That's great," I don't try arguing about why it's not great anymore. I just go, "You're right."
Right. And you mean when your friend is willing to say, "Hey, that's great that thing you think is bad is happening, because let's see what good is going to come out of it."
Yes.
And in the past, that could be insulting to certain people. Like, "Wait, you're trying to tell me that this thing that I want to whine and complain and moan about and, you know, stew about, like one of your friends had marinade in it?
God.
Like, don't take away my little doll that I cling to have something to worry about."
Yeah, those people you just got to let go. Let them go. Let them wear themselves out like we used to do with people drowning.
That's the same thing we do with ourselves. If part of ourselves is clinging to some old stuff, we just bless it until eventually it lets go.
Yeah.
So, Jen Henry, you want to read the daily word for us?
Yes. Today's daily word: healing. I attune to wholeness and express perfect health. All against the lining in my vision for me. I am perfectly healthy, vibrant in mind, body, and spirit. I invest in my health by spending time in communion with God. I say prayers of gratitude for my youth. I enter my heart in meditation. I train my mind with positive words. Guided by spirit, I make healthy choices when it comes to eating and exercise. I care for myself with regular visits to medical professionals. I am mindful of my speech and refrain from any discouraging self-talk. I align every part of my being with truth principles. As I do so, healing at all levels is not merely likely, but inevitable. I am one with God, healed, whole, healthy. I will take sickness away from among you. Exodus 23:25.
That is wonderful. That's exactly what we just talked about.
I love this one because it reminds me of something that just happened today. A friend of mine posted on Facebook that he wanted to lose weight. So, you know, in here it says, you know, make healthy choices when it comes to eating and exercise. And he said so what he was going to do was take a picture of his stomach and make it his phone put it on his phone so he could see it every day and shame himself.
Whoa.
And I offered him advice: don't shame yourself into losing weight, because we've all done that. We've shamed shamed ourselves into whatever situation that we found ourselves in. We've just shamed ourselves about.
Right.
And praise yourself into good things.
Yes.
Praise yourself, and you are grateful, and you praise, even praising God, or just becoming in tune with God, understanding that God is present in that situation. When you're trying to lose weight, or whatever goal you're trying to work towards, making sure that, understanding that God is there with you, working with you, and not against you, and praising that situation and being grateful for any weight loss you do achieve. That is, I think that's so important. And I think, forget simple prayers like this, or simple little meditations like this, we forget them, and we start the shame talk, and we start the negative talk, rather than focusing on the fact that, everything is already and healed. It may not be our version of healthy, whole, and healed, but if we can just align ourselves with the truth.
Well, Daryl just coined a phrase, which is Edwardian guilt. So it's perfect, because in the Edwardian guilt, see, well, I love what you just said, which is praise yourself into well-being, because little does your friend know, or little do I know, that probably the shame and the guilt is why the weight came on in the first place, or at least why he feels bad about the weight, or whatever, And when I do things, for some reason, my first reaction, based on whatever in the past, has been, well, if I beat myself up and throw myself on the ground in front of whoever I think I wronged and tell them how bad I am, somehow that's going to make it better. And Daryl and I call that maybe giving a Gettysburg Address, or, anytime we feel like giving these impassioned speeches, and that are usually about either how bad we are or someone else is, it's time to turn it over. It's time to, like you said, praise ourselves and praise life enough that we remember that life is good, and then everything works itself out. Like you said, it may not be in the way we think, but it'll be better than what we thought. Yes. And it'll be us. It'll be who we are.
Exactly.
Oh man, this is so good.
Yes.
Because that is crucial. Shaming never motivates any of us to do anything that's advantageous to our growth.
That's right.
But a lot of schools of thought make it sound like, how did you get up? You got to whip yourself into shape. You got to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. None of that works. And that's why surrender gets a bad name, but it really means surrender the shame.
Yes.
Surrender beating yourself up. Once I surrender, the war is over in my mind against myself.
Yes.
And then I start to move forward in a more positive manner.
Yeah, that's when you get moves like Jagger.
Oh, and you should see him.
Yeah.
Exactly. Everybody is so scared by that word surrender. They think it means giving in to some invisible force that is, controlling your life and destiny. No, not at all. You focus on the possibilities and the goodness.
Well, yeah, they should listen to that positive hymnal about surrender.
What?
Mommy's all right. Daddy's all right. We just seem a little strange. Surrender.
Nice.
Surrender.
And I was thinking,
but don't give yourself away.
Well, listen. One thing is, the dogs have just come in. Mr. French and Gabby are telling me we got to go to break.
Yes, they got a huge duffel bag of mail.
I like the last thing. I like what you said, because people mistake surrender for compromise. It is not that. It is collaborating with our higher self, with the best that life can give us, and experiencing better than expected outcomes.
And what's your friend's first name, if you don't mind? Because we're going to send up loving prayers of support.
Yeah, we love his belly.
We love him. We love how fit he feels, how wonderful
joyous,
he's going to do.
Full of laughter.
Yes.
Yes.
What's his name?
Mr.
You can call him anything. We don't care.
Yeah.
Mr. I'm sorry. I thought you said Mr. See, this is what happens when you wear hearing aids.
Yeah.
Anyway, my friend, not Mr. French.
No.
Anyway, my friend's name is David.
David, we love you, man.
And it's a king's name. How could you go wrong with that?
Yes, he's awesome. He's a very special man.
All right, Jen Henry. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Tell Leslie we said hello and we love her too.
Yes, we do.
Yep, and Leslie sends her love to you guys.
And the pooch as well, please.
We will. Okay. Talk to you guys later.
Okay, coming up after the break, we'll have Joke of the Day, listener mailbag, and more. It's a huge mailbag, so thank you for listening to Funniest Thing on Unity Online Radio. What is called the pants? Take 8.
Jeff enjoyed
Where's
himself.
My extras?
Extras.
I gave it to you.
Right here.
You should have one as well.
Bye, JH.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
Hey, we'll see you later.
See you later.
Sounds good. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Wow, dude, this is chock full of goodness.
Okay, so we're going to start right off with the joke.
I'll read the quick quote from Stake Your Claim, which is like only a few lines.
The punchline is, it's 5 a.m. Wake up, Harry. No, it's just wake up.
Yeah.
Could I piss real quick? Do we have time?
Yes, let the fans know what you're about to do on our YouTube. Go ahead. Fans love it. I'll go.
tinkle.
If you want to come back before he gets back, I'll read this reading. Yeah. Now that all the fans know where you are, they'll understand. Mr. Comfort, it's a joyous day. You need some more candy? What's the largest gummy you've eaten today? How many pounds we talking?
5.
I see. Daryl and I have been talking a big game. We got to hunt down a bigger gummy. Maybe our fans can help.
I want to get the worm, the 25-pounder.
25-pound worm. What does that go for?
$150.
150? You are worth it. Dude, you and that worm would be inseparable.
It's as tall as I am.
That's awesome.
Our YouTube fans get the real behind the scenes.
Yes.
Like Johnny Carson during the commercial breaks, prostitutes would come on set and stuff, and he'd smoke a cigar, and then they'd go, okay, we're coming back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and he's back in his suit.
He had to zip up his pants.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
At least we're a little bit more.
Well, that's just because the camera's not on Comfort.
Oh, yeah. No, I was wondering why he had the camera taken out of the control room.
That's right. Okay.
We're ready when you are. Who is that new girl he's got in there with him on his lap?
That Lacey?
I don't know. Looks like Sherry.
Oh, man, he closed the blinds on us.
He sure did.
Here we go. Why don't you bring us back? I'll read this, then we'll get into the joke.
Daryl and Ed, the best-looking guys on the radio.
Oh, it's a little low. Hey, welcome back. Love is the prescription, no matter what the affliction.
You are not kidding.
What do you got for us, Ed?
Oh, thank you. I have a quick reading from Corsiato and Miracles, as we call it. It's the Emmett Fox page on Facebook where we get our quotes sometimes.
Or it's emmettfox.net.
Yes, and this quote from the book Stake Your Claim says, if you want health, then claim every day that God is your health, that divine life brings well-being to every part of your body. If you want prosperity, claim every day that God is your prosperity and the giver of every good gift. If you want peace and harmony, claim every day that God brings you peace and all things will work out for good to them that love God and them that are loving. Whatever it is you wish to bring into your life, stake your claim to it.
Yes,
I mean,
indeed.
it is that simple. We just got to let it in.
And we just had a nice talk with our guest, Jen Henry, in the last segment.
Yes,
we
did.
If you didn't hear it, scroll back and
Yes.
listen to that, because we talked a lot about this exact topic with her friend David and blessing himself, praising himself
Yes.
into a healthier physique
Yeah.
instead of shaming himself,
Yeah, it's
which
better to
never works.
It's better to have a belly laugh than a concern about the belly.
It's true. And speaking of a belly laugh, what do we got?
Well, there was a man and a wife who were having some problems at home, and were giving each other the silent treatment.
Ooh.
Suddenly, the man realized that the next day he would need his wife to wake him at 5 a.m. for an early morning business flight.
Uh-oh.
Not wanting to be the first to break the silence and lose, he wrote on a piece of paper, "Please wake me at 5 a.m." He left it where he knew she would find it.
Smart guy.
I know. He's figured it out. The next morning, the man woke up only to discover it was 9 a.m. and he had missed his flight. Now furious, he was about to go and see why his wife hadn't wakened him when he noticed a piece of paper by the bed. The paper said,
It's 5 a.m. Wake up!
"Yeah."
All right. Whoa! Whoa,
wow,
Gabby!
This is a full bag, Gabby.
This is, you know, in a few weeks we're gonna have Bennett Tanton and we're gonna have Michael Penny, those two Marines.
Yes.
Come on, thank God! It looks like she's using Michael Penny's old duffel bag from Afghanistan with all this.
Let's rip through these with joy. This first one comes from Christina Robom from Oakland, California. Just came today. She said, "Hi guys, I'm taking a pause in my day to send you this story as a prayer of gratitude. So many funniest moments happen all the time as a result of applying the practices, the light and the real way you share them, but I am overdue on sharing with you and a thanks. I've attached a picture that I normally wouldn't share because yikes, to illustrate how grumpy I was this morning getting my passport visa photo taken. I woke up late and tired and was stressing to get this pic and head to the Chinese consulate in SF for my visa. I had so much fear around being late. It taking too long and the invested fears of what if I don't have the right things.
Oh, yeah.
What if they don't like me? What if there's some weird rule I don't know? All the while knowing that thoughts like that don't help. I popped on an archive show of yours on my commute because I knew I would create hell if I kept thinking that way.
Good idea. You talked about that.
You brighten my day, help me see things differently, and be brave to stick with the positive thoughts. Boy, did it help. I got to the consulate. Think chaotic DMV, but everyone is speaking Chinese. So took a number, sat on the floor to fill out my application, not really understanding the process. I was number 176 and they were on number 50. Wow. But I was still grateful to be there and my hopes were high. A man walked up and gave me his number, 87, at least an hour saving. I got in line.
Team members.
I know. Now that this is just like your story. I got in line now that I qualified and the guard came up to only me asking what number I was. He moved me up the line to the proper place for number 87, saving me even more time. Amazing. I'd love your support in sending prayers to those two wonderful angels who supported me today. I'm grateful that I realigned my thoughts to even attract support like that. Thank you again for all you do and share. Oh, and I just finished your 18-day meditation, and it has helped so much. I often think, ooh, I sense chaos here, and I think I can't control, but I can. I choose peace here. Lots of love, Christina Robom.
Yes, you can go to our website, DarylNed.com. She's referring to
the Mini Course in Miracles.
Mini Course in Miracles tab. And also, this is a good example because sometimes if you feel yourself getting irritated, don't fear that that's ruining the situation.
That's right.
If you feel yourself getting irritated, that's natural. It lets you know that your thoughts are going in the wrong direction, and then just bring them back to a positive train of thinking. And sure enough, circumstances will correspond.
That's right. All right. So that's because that's a big part of turning things over. So why don't you read the other letter we got today?
My goodness. Where is that one?
Down there at the bottom of that page.
This one or the one from the lady?
Right here.
Oh, okay. Do we have time for that last one? Yeah, we do. This one just came in from my cousin Chris. It says, I type in all caps because it's easier.
Yeah, he's not yelling at you.
Not yelling.
She's not yelling at you.
Read your article on the God Box and thought Lori and you would find this interesting. About 27 years ago, I was tired of dating, had stopped it entirely, just couldn't stand the hassle anymore. So one night in bed, after saying my prayers, I spoke to the man upstairs, meaning God, asking him to take care of this for me. I asked for just a decent, loving, caring man to come my way. I also told him if I wasn't supposed to get one, that was fine too. I closed by saying I was giving it up to him and was done thinking about it anymore. And I really did forget about it. About a month later, he brought me Nick, and that's been her wonderful husband for many, many years. And I was telling this story to a friend who I knew would try this, and she did. It only took 3 weeks. She's very happily married. Just thought you'd like to know this has been going on and working well for more years than you can imagine. The trick, here it is to genuinely give it to him and never to think about it again. He will do what's best for us. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cousin Chris. We got another one from Louisville, Kentucky. Sherry Knight said, hello, Daryl and Ed. My name's Sherry Knight, and I'm a big fan of your wonderful show. Since I started listening, I've also got my husband and daughter listening. I look forward to hearing each new episode and have gone back and listened to most of your past shows. You guys are great, and I love your message. Thank you for what you do. We live in Louisville, Kentucky, but are currently visiting our son and daughter-in-law in Santa Monica. Just wondering, since we're close by, if there's any way we could meet up with you guys, maybe for coffee or something. I understand you have busy lives, but just could not be this close by and not reach out. Looking forward to your next episode. So grateful to have found you on Unity Online. Thanks for continued inspiration. And I did talk to Sherry, and we are going to get together. And I told her I'd give her a shout out to her husband, Mike, son, Bryce, his wife, Ruby, their daughter in Nashville is Rachel, and their 13-year-old well-loved Yorkie is Riley.
Wow.
So, Sherry, we will see you very soon.
And one last email. Well, no, this wasn't an email. This is another mail to our Funniest Thing box. We got time for it.
Let
it's
it rip.
From Rachel Gallant from Rochester, New Hampshire.
Yes.
And she wrote, hello, I'm sorry to hear about... Oh, what happened was, remember she requested books for her marathon in Dublin.
Yes.
That day we did the show, I found out that a friend of mine's mom, Mrs. Lancaster, had passed away, and she just happened to be an avid marathoner in her later years.
Amazing.
So I gave her some extra books to give on behalf of Mrs. Lancaster in Dublin, and she wrote back, good. I'm sorry to hear about your kindred friend, Mrs. Lancaster. It is through God's grace that we are blessed with people like her when we need them the most. God's timing is just impeccable, I have to say. I received your books. Thank you so much. I'm even more excited to be running the Dublin Marathon now that I have a reason way bigger than myself to finish. Yes. You should be receiving my creative gesture for the book today or tomorrow at the latest. I have to share the funniest thing with you. I have been a runner for most of my life, but not a huge marathon runner. Dublin will be my second. However, my first marathon was New York City in 1996. Imagine that. Thank you for sharing your vibrant joy and jubilant spirit with me. May God's life and love shine brightly on your day today. Ed 2, love, Rachel.
This is beautiful.
Woo!
So love is the prescription. The main thing to remember whenever you get lost in the shuffle of negative thinking is it's time to come back to life. Back to reality, back to the here and now, yeah. Show me how, decide what you want from me. Tell me, God, and I will be there for you.
If you ever do want me.
Come on, read it. Need me. However do you want me.
I got carried away.
Jeff Comfort.
Visit DarylNed.com to find easy links to everything we do, including the Funniest Thing Facebook fan page. You can also find our YouTube page and our Twitter at Daryl and Ed.
Jen Henry!
Also, you can write to us at Funniest Thing, P.O. Box 1312, Culver City, California, 90232. And as always, thank you for being a part of Funniest Thing with Daryl and Ed on Unity Online Radio.
Back to the present time, back from a fantasy, oh yeah. Bless me, God, take the initiative. I'll leave it in your hands until you're ready, yeah.
Unlike Milli Vanilli, Daryl and Ed sing all their 80s tunes with their own voices.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
Mr. French and Gabby both left.
They love rock and roll.